Hello everybody, this is Scott Smith with the Saturday Service. I have a lot to go over today, so I'm going to put a bulk of the writing onto the Patreon. That's patreon.com/ScottKSmith, and that's free, so you can read it there rather than give it all to you in the video, because I actually wrote a couple of pages this morning as I was pulling cards, and it's just a lot of information. So it's August 3rd, 2024. It is Saturday, and it is the dark moon in Leo. The event that I had today was canceled. We just didn't have registration. So when we don't have registration, I can't plan for the event because we don't know who's coming. And that's a big part of the way that we do things. So I want to talk about some of the cards this week. The star is here again. We have the star. This has been one of the primary messages for a couple of months of after the tower comes the star, but especially in the last few weeks. And I'm using oracles today. So I'm using the Light and Shadow Tarot and what is called the Curious Oracle, and I pulled the Raven with this. And this combination is really great. It is intellect aligned with vision and hope. Or healing, or what's next, the vision of what's next. And so the star is the preeminent message for the week. And it's really saying, like, what's been coming through about what your next steps are, what's your vision for tomorrow, which direction are you going, and how can you detail that? When I see this combination of intellect and star, it's like the raven and the writing desk. It's like, how do you detail this out and put it into words? How would you articulate it if someone asked you, what's next? What are you doing next? What's your plan for tomorrow? And I would focus on that. Even if tomorrow is literally tomorrow, not necessarily the figurative tomorrow of like when we reach that point, but ultimately with that star energy, it's like, how do you detail the way in which you have grabbed onto the light of what's next? So that's really the inspiration for the start of the week. We have a lot of planning and combination there. So that's great if you're going to do any kind of new moon work, which is tomorrow. And that would allow you to, use that as a seed starter for whatever sort of magic that you're doing and planting in the new moon energy. The herald of the week is the Prince of Cups. I have that one here for you. From the tarot, and I coupled that with the Fountain, which is creativity from a Curious Oracle. This is a great combo as well. I just want to point out that, like, he's a rather muscular prince of cups. It is a cups card, so he's carrying the vision. He's sort of like the torchbearer of the cup of the vision that we might see in the star. He's riding a swordfish. There's a lot of like yang energy there as he carries that lotus. So the idea of this with the Fountain is to be creative with your passions and to sort of watch to not become emotionally overbearing with it. Like there's energy there. There's tidal energy there, right? Like there's all of those strong images in that card, including the figure itself. And it's just to sort of like watch how that sort of comes off. Watch how this is happening. What you really want to do is translate vision into action, right? So again, this is great for like putting things into play, but to remember, if you're being too hard or overbearing, to soften up a little bit, or if you're being too squishy, to harden up a little bit, right? You want to take action, but you want to find like the synergy of what that balance is for yourself. So find, if you're too overbalanced on one direction, too inert or too active, and say like, what's the remedy for this, and sort of move in that way. You could use rutilated quartz on one end, to sort of like stimulate, or you could use like, I don't know, sunstone, to like vitalize, if you're being too squishy. Or you can soften up with herbs like teas that are more relaxing. If you're too hard, maybe even, I don't know, rose quartz could be a good communicator for that. I didn't check the moon signs for the week, but I'll put that in the writing. What else? Remember not to become too single vision or overly focused on something. Like that's also helpful when we see a night card, because they're like, I'm here for a purpose. And it's sort of like, yeah, and also other things are happening. We're here for that purpose, and what else is happening. Not to become too narrowly focused on that, because it's a lot of energy when we see a night. And we have 2 this week, because the week ends with another night, or prince as it's detailed in this deck. So the midweek we have the 2 of Cups and the Owl. This is a great card. I paired this with Moonstone. We have the 2 of Cups. I just love to show the cards in the tarot of the Light and Shadow Tarot, along with the Owl, which is the Messenger. This is a great combination, and essentially this says, you know, get with your people, find your bestie, find your close, you know, whoever they are that you're working with, and get together and talk with them. If you have ideas, if you have meetings, it's a great time midweek to work those out and sort of get to the details and listen. Listen to what the feedback is, hear the perspective, even if you don't agree with it, just to sort of understand what someone else might be seeing in it. This helps with the energy of the night to gather perspective. You know, it helps to open up the single focus so that we can see a little bit better and see a little bit more. And with the Owl, that is a messenger card with a 2 of Cups. It's like someone might have something important to say to you. I mean, it might even be a good time to get a reading. You know, that's a good message to throw in there. At the end of the week, rounding it out, we have that other prince that is the Prince of Swords, and we have that with the Mudra, which is expression in this deck, and I've paired that with a softened river rock or a shell. I think that's a good one for that, and that really is a great combination of fire and air, but you want to be careful with that with the prince energy, because he can quickly go to chop chop with that sword. It's so fire and intellect, right? Like it's so like energy and my idea, you know, it's like I have this idea, I'm gonna do this thing, and that's great. You can use that for creative purposes, but you want to watch that. When we see the mudra hand that's there, this is really about choice words, choose wisely, creatively, like what's a better way to say that? You know, like if you really want to get the point across, or you really want to communicate this next level, taking into any information that you might have gotten midweek, then now's the time to be creative with that energy about what you could do next. This would be great for writing projects, sending that email, having that conversation after you've, you know, met with your closest about what you need to do, or articulating the next steps after you've really gathered yourself from your new moon sort of things. So just remember to trust yourself, that when you're aligned, things will feel in sync. And that feeling is a combination of looking, feeling, vibing, doing, being. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have obstacles in what we do, but to remember to ask yourself, you know, are you in any of this information that you're getting and anything that you're doing, and however you combine this with whatever else, you know, what other sources that you're using for your information, in the end, do you feel closer to you, and do you feel closer to being present here and now, and do you feel more yourself? And if the answer is yes, then you've gone the right direction. There's a little bit about spiritual disassociation that will go with this post, but that will be on the Patreon, and you can only read it there. I'm not going to make a very long message because I can go off on that one a little bit. If you'd like to read more on that, I would visit patreon.com/ScottKSmith. This is our week. I'm carrying carnelian, I have rutilated quartz, I have moonstone, I have a little shell. I'm putting these on my altar for the week. What you put on your altar is what you draw in, and this is how I'm carrying forward. I hope you survived last week well. That moon and devil card combo was very interesting for me. I was like, oh, this is a trickster energy. This is a liar phase right here. So that was really neat to see that play out. You know, I kept my center. I didn't get drawn too hard into anything, although I had my moments. How did it go for you, right? How did that play out for you? I saw a lot of different things on social media that were interesting. This is Scott Smith. I appreciate your, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm really surprised that I got this little message from Spirit, and I just decided to start throwing this out there, and people are watching it. More people are watching it. It's something I just like to offer to the community as a free service. I've done this for years. I've done it in various forms, and now I'm trying it in video. So we're just seeing how it goes and playing with it. I'm at starandstonellc.com. You can find me all over the internet. under Scott K. Smith, or under that other name. So blessed be, blessed be, blessed be, and thank you for watching.